Hello everybody, it's Darren, your cruise director here with my very important debarkation presentation, giving you all the information you need to know for a seamless transition from ship to shore for our arrival back into our home port of Port Canaveral. But before we start with all the important information, first of all I wanted to say thank you so much for choosing to sail with us during these inaugural sailings of the Disney Treasure. It has been our sheer pleasure having you on board. And I do really hope that you've been able to create some magical memories that'll last a lifetime. From our onboard rotational dining experience, first run movies, our fantastic Broadway style shows, our adult and family programming, our youth activities areas, the Oceaneer Club, Edge and Vibe, and of course so much more. I really do hope that you found something over this last few days and nights, as I say, to make those memories that'll last a lifetime. Now, in today's presentation, we'll be giving you that important information, but remember, you can refer back to that Disney Cruise Line digital app at any time. Also, this presentation will play on a loop so you can come back here. After all of that, if you still have any unanswered questions, our friendly team at the Guest Services Desk are open 24 hours a day. The Disney Treasure will be pulling alongside the pier in Port Canaveral at approximately 6 a.m. in the morning. At that time, we'll start taking all of your luggage off the ship as we wait for clearance by the local authorities. We expect to receive clearance for our express walk-off guests at approximately 7:45 a.m. Now, express walk-off means those guests have kept all of their own luggage with them and can walk off the gangway without any extra assistance provided by us. Now, our regular guests can start their debarkation at approximately 8 o'clock. You'll walk off the gangway, and the gangway will be located deck 3 midship, that same gangway that you boarded the ship at the start of the voyage. Now, it's important to remember that our retail locations are not allowed to open upon our arrival back into a port. So if you've got any last-minute souvenir shopping to do, you must do it on the final night of your cruise during those operating hours. Now, I can tell you that Shutter's Photo Gallery is open on the final morning of debarkation. Check the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app for the times and the location. Now, folks, we have to remind you that it is important you must purchase your cruise photos either in the gallery itself or through the Disney Cruise Line digital app prior to leaving the ship. We're going to talk about your stateroom accounts now. Now, the majority of you on board already have signed up for our express checkout, meaning that you have a credit card on file with us. You've agreed to have those charges charged to your credit card at the end of the voyage. If that's you, all you need to do is go on your Disney Cruise Line app, check your folio, or otherwise called maybe the bill, check that paperwork on there, and then see if there's any concerns or any possible errors. If all looks good, there's nothing else to do. Now, if you are reconciling your account in any other way, we do ask you to visit the Guest Services Desk on the final night of your voyage to close your account. Now, if you'd like to have a copy of your account, you can open up those charge pages on your Disney Cruise Line Navigator app and email yourself a copy. Once you're off the ship, if you'd like a copy, maybe to print at home, it couldn't be simpler. Go on disneycruise.com and view and download for the next 90 days. You know, I'd like to talk now about one of my favorite areas on board the ship, and that is our youth activities areas. Disney Oceaneer Club, Edge and Vibe. Also, It's a Small World Nursery. Now, many of the children, the tweens and the teens have been enjoying those spaces throughout the cruise. And I really do hope that we've created some memories for them in those locations. Also, hopefully freeing up the adults to spend some time in our adult-only lounges and at the events around the ship. Now, at the start of the voyage, if you signed up one of your children for the Disney Oceaneer Club, you would have got a special Oceaneer band. Now, a deposit fee was taken from you at that time. When you go and collect your child for the last night, or your children from the Disney Oceaneer Club, we ask you on that very final time, when you're collecting them, and they're not going to be returning to the space anymore on that final night of the voyage, to then return the band. At that point, we will make sure the deposit that was charged to you comes off your account. Once again, we really do hope that the children, the tweens and the teens had a great time in those locations. We're now going to discuss luggage. All luggage items that you would like us to take off the ship for you on the morning of debarkation must be placed outside your stateroom door by no later than 10:30 p.m. on the final night of the voyage. Once again, I repeat, no later than 10:30 p.m. on the final night of your voyage must those items of luggage you would like us to take off the ship for you to be placed outside your room by 10:30 p.m. Now, once we've collected all of your luggage, it is held in a secure area that no one has access to. So once again, folks, it is vital that you keep anything that you may need for the next 24 hours in your own room just to be safe. Now, folks, it's really, really important that you remove all your old luggage tags, including the tags you used to board the ship. At that time, you're going to replace them with the new luggage tags that we delivered to your room. Now, these are all character and color coded. It's important that all of the tags look the same. So if you do need any extras or spares at all, please ask your stateroom host and they'll be happy to help. Now, when filling out the tag, we need your name, your address, your stateroom number, and the pieces of luggage you're placing outside. Now, a lot of guests ask, why do you need the stateroom number when we're leaving the ship? Well, we're going to do our very best to place the luggage out in the terminal, not only in color, character-coded sections, but also in numerical order as well. And the number of bags that you place outside, also for us to try to keep those bags together. For example, if you're placing 3 bags outside, please number them 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. Once again, all items must be placed outside no later than 10:30 p.m. Now, it's important that you keep all breakables, valuables, travel documentation, passports, medication, anything you need for that first 24 hours. It's best to keep them in your own hand luggage in the room and carry off that personally in the morning of debarkation. Once again, folks, all of this information and so much more can be found on that Disney Cruise Line digital app. Once you've collected your luggage in the luggage terminal, you'll be heading past a Customs and Border Protection official. At this point, they'll be checking all of your identification. They'll also maybe ask you some questions about purchases on board. Now, there is a dollar value to purchases on board that you may have to declare. This changes from voyage to voyage depending on the ports of call. After this talk, we encourage you to review the U.S. Customs and Border Protection's short video for information about their declaration process for items you have purchased or are bringing back with you from this cruise. We do ask you to check your Disney Cruise Line digital app once again for all of these details about this requirement. On the final night of your voyage, your dining room servers will remind you about the location and time of your breakfast. It is important that you get that quick express breakfast prior to leaving the ship, and once again, they'll remind you. But it couldn't be simpler, really. Whichever restaurant you dine in on that final night of the voyage will be the location for your breakfast on that final morning, with the exceptions of if you dined in Paolo or Enchante. You would then go back to that originally planned restaurant for that express breakfast. But once again, your friendly dining room team servers will remind you of the location and the time. Here at Disney Cruise Line, your feedback is so valuable to us. And the best way of getting your feedback to us is by utilizing the guest survey that you can access through your Disney Cruise Line digital app or by scanning the code that's on the screen here. Just make sure you're connected to the Disney Cruise Line network. Now, folks, during that survey, it will ask you so many different questions, but there's a couple of things I want to point out. First of all, we do have a rating system that starts with NA, meaning not applicable. If you didn't attend a certain meal or a certain dining location or maybe an event, it really helps us out to tick not applicable. Then there's a rating system that goes all the way up to excellent. Now, maybe excellent's not a word you use. Maybe it's super, maybe it's great, maybe it's fantastic. We're just looking that hopefully you had a great experience at that particular event or type of question that we're asking you about. Now, many guests have asked me if anyone actually reads the comments they put on the guest surveys. Folks, I can guarantee you by about 5 p.m. on the day you leave the ship, all the onboard leaders receive all of the information that you put in those surveys. That information is also sent to our leaders in our head office in Celebration, Florida. Now, there's lots of different sections that I've mentioned already. There are some sections of areas that maybe we can't control fully. Say, for example, your travel prior to joining the ship, maybe the weather itself. But then there's all the sections that we can control. Now, one of the most important questions on there is your overall cruise experience. This is taking everything into consideration that we could control. The beauty of the ship, the ambience, the upkeep, the dining, the entertainment, and the overall crew experience. That one's really vital to us. And talking about the crew, I do want to ask you, there's a question that asks, did any crew member, maybe particularly that you can remember, went above and beyond, maybe created some extra magic? We love to reward and recognize from internally, and also we love to promote from within as well. And this is one of the tools that we use to look for those future leaders. We're now going to talk about your onward transportation and what to expect when leaving the ship. So remember, folks, we're going to have that express breakfast for you. We also expect all guests to have left their stateroom no later than 8 a.m. So when heading down to the breakfast, make sure you take all of your remaining luggage items with you. We also ask you at that point to please leave the safe in the open position so we know that you've checked it. And of course, check the whole entire stateroom so you don't leave anything behind. Now, after breakfast, you'll walk off that gangway, the same gangway that you boarded the ship at the start of your voyage, Deck 3 midship. You'll pass by the luggage area, you'll collect your luggage. You'll then pass by that Customs and Border Protection officials that we spoke about earlier. Then you're out into the open. And folks, if you left your car here in the port, of course, you'll know where to head. If you're looking for those onward transportations like taxis or rideshare vehicles, there's locations just outside. And also, if you've paid for that transportation on a Disney Cruise Line bus, the buses will be waiting for you. Now, if you do have a flight prior to noon, we do advise that you're off the ship no later and through all that process by 8 o'clock. And if you're heading on one of the buses to one of our Disney resorts, you need to be off the ship and through the whole process no later than 9 o'clock. And of course, our friendly ground services team will be there to assist you. A quick summary of what your final morning will look like. Some of this information repeated from earlier on in the presentation, but really, really important. You'll wake up in the morning. You'll pack all of those final items that you had left in the room. You'll leave the safe in the open position, and you'll head down to your breakfast location at that stated location and time. Please remember that we do ask all guests to have left their stateroom no later than 8 a.m. Once you've finished your breakfast, you'll listen out for the character color-coded luggage tags to be called. As soon as you hear yours being called, you can then head off the gangway, which is located Deck 3 midship, the same location that you boarded the ship. When you've gone over the gangway, you'll pick up your luggage, you'll pass the Customs and Border Protection officials, and then you're out into the open world. Now, there is one thing to remind you folks. Federal law does state that no plants, no vegetables, no fruits, no meat or dairy products can be taken ashore. You are at risk of a huge personal fine if you do so, so make sure you finish all of those breakfast items on board the ship. Once you're out into the open world, folks, you'll be heading on to that onward transportation. Now, this presentation will play on a loop, so you can refer back to it at any time. I also suggest that you check out all of the debarkation information that can be found on your Disney Cruise Line digital app. After doing that, if you have any questions at all, our friendly team at the Guest Services Desk, Deck 4 midship, are available 24 hours a day. Now, folks, once again, I want to thank you so much to choosing to sail with us aboard the new crown jewel of the Disney Cruise Line fleet, the Disney Treasure. It has been our pleasure having you here, and I really do hope that we've created those memories that last a lifetime. Only one last thing for me to say, and it's the same as our friend Mickey Mouse would say, and that is, we hope to see you real soon.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection is excited to announce recent enhancements to the declaration process, providing passengers with a streamlined experience that is more convenient and efficient than ever. With CBP's enhanced declaration process, passengers can now provide their declaration status by simply selecting which processing zone applies to them, virtually eliminating the need to provide paper and/or verbal declarations upon their return to the United States. Are you returning with goods or other items to declare? Follow the signage to the Items to Declare zone fruits and vegetables, meats and animal products, plants and cut flowers, live animals, currency over $10,000, items over personal exemption. If you do not have anything to declare, just follow the signage to the Nothing to Declare zone. That's it. Simply select the appropriate declaration zone and then proceed through the remainder of the inspection process. CBP is proud of our continued efforts to improve the traveler experience by introducing new and innovative solutions that streamline the declaration process and enhance traveler efficiencies. We hope you have a safe and enjoyable stay in the United States of America.